All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another stream. This will be a video that'll be uploaded to my YouTube channel. I do want to go and thank you guys for watching. Last night, guys, when I noticed that Dead Matter, a game that I had hyped more than 6 years ago, that I was excited about more than 6 years ago, way back in early September of 2017, I had hyped this a Dead Matter zombie apocalypse online or single player game on my YouTube channel. And it was supposed to come out in 2018, even early 2018, according to their Kickstarter page. And I had hyped the video in September of 2017, thinking, man, this looks really good. I was excited. So I played this game, guys, last night. It was a clusterfuck. I had to download 141 gigabytes of bullshit and install that before I could even play. And then I had to go to work, so I only played about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, something like that, of the game, and it was absolutely terrible. Uh, most of that video is already up on my YouTube page right now in Miss number 325. But before I refunded the game, this game is like such an epic failure. It's almost like you're driving on the freeway, right? And you see a massive explosion or you see a huge car pile up on the freeway, and there's that, that instinct or that curiosity in you to want to drive by slow and look at all the wreckage and the dead bodies and everything that is in that catastrophe, right? You're curious because you're like, how big of a clusterfuck is this? Like, look at all those cars crashed. Well, Dead Matter is one of those games that's such an epic failure here at launch that it intrigued me enough to record a full 2 hours of the game before I refunded the game. So I did play it for a full 2 hours and I captured some more game footage. I was able to even get on a live server earlier today. So we'll be taking a look at some of that. But I also want to go ahead and show you guys in my video yesterday, I was saying, hey, these guys have made $230,000 on their Kickstarter campaign in 30 days back in 2017. These developers made 1.4 million on an Indiegogo campaign, which that's only like 1.7 million. Well, it seems the truth is that they actually made over almost 4.5 million in crowdfunding for this game. And then they also got an additional $5 million behind the doors from Tencent, who has supported a lot of these kind of games. We have evidence that Tencent also gave the developers an additional $5 million dollars, and they also raised whatever money they had collected in pre-order money for the time they were collecting pre-orders on their own website. So it's safe to say that they, pulled in at least $10 million in early access money. And we also kind of have proof that they blew the money. They blew all their money. And they were paying people to basically do nothing, developers to do basically nothing for months on end. So we'll show you the proof that I have of that and where I'm getting these figures from, where I'm getting this information from. That'll all be in this video. But let's go ahead and first of all take a look at Dead Matter here right now, guys. It's been almost 24 hours since the game launched on Steam last night. It's coming in early access. Of course, this is their excuse for everything bad in the game. Well, it's early access. Well, this game right now, guys, is launching at a $40 price tag, which is way too much money. But, I was curious. I wanted to go ahead and see what kind of clusterfuck it was last night. And that's why I invested the $40, knowing and being confident that I could get my money back if it was as bad as I suspected. So if we look right now, guys, it has almost 100 reviews, and only 9% of those reviews are positive right now. As you can see, it doesn't just say negative, it says very negative. And when you play the game, it's quickly observant that this game is so much worse than so many like indie games that are, just something cobbled together in a month or two by a solo indie developer, using zombie assets and stuff like that. It's so much worse than so many of those games that only cost $2 or $3. And I'll show you one game that I like at the end of this video that I think is a lot better investment in your money, and obviously it doesn't have near as much hype, but I guarantee you it's a hell of a lot better game and a hell of a lot more fun, and you can get that for under $5. It's a game I played almost a year ago. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the clusterfuck that is this game right now. 266 reviews, including all the key redemptions. Now remember, a lot of these key redemptions are coming from their crowdfunding, where people were promised keys to the game. You know, people invested 75, 80, 100, 150 bucks or whatever, you know, 5 or 6 years ago to be given the game, and what they thought was going to be like 6 months or a year later. And instead, they had to wait 6 fucking years for this game to launch on Steam. And yeah, this is what we have. Only 31 positive reviews out of 268 total. And that's about the same dismal 9% that we're seeing here. Welcome to stream, Abizart. How you doing today? Well, let's go ahead and first of all show you a little bit more highlights of the game, guys, that I recorded last night, late last night, and this morning. And let's go ahead and take a look at the first video here. So let's start here. This is where we're loading in. I was always confused why it says show FPS in the game, but it doesn't actually have. Let me get some sound going here. Yeah, why it has an FPS, you can check the FPS meter, but it doesn't actually have an FPS meter. And then another thing too here, guys, look at this. Look at this right here. So this is in the settings. While the settings menu looks really good, look at the quality settings here. You have a master preset, low, medium, high, epic, or custom. And I'm on high. But then all these other quality settings, you have no idea what the fuck it is. It just says header name, header name, header name, header name. So you don't know if this is post-processing, you don't know if this is shadows, you don't know if this is resolution, you don't know if this is terrain resolution, you know, detail, whatever. It's all just header names. So they've launched a game where you don't even know what the fuck the settings are. And this is under the video settings, of course. And this right here should be embarrassing to the developer team to launch a game. There's no excuse for this. No excuse for people launching a game in early access. I don't care if it's early access. You don't launch a game and charge $40 with a game that has settings like this where you don't even know what the hell you're setting. Yeah, it's just ridiculous, as you see all these header names and stuff like that. Here you guys can see, if anybody wants to know my specs on my computer, it's an i7-10700 CPU. I have a GeForce 2060 Super, so it's not a state-of-the-art computer, but it's still a pretty decent gaming computer. I bought it about 3 years ago, a little less than 3 years ago. And it still plays games like Dead by Daylight and stuff like that fine. Abizart says, I wanted to see someone play the game before deciding to buy myself. Well, I think that all you need to do is look at the Steam page, Abizart, and see that it has only 9% positive reviews. And most of those people that are giving it a positive review are either just absolutely delusional fanboys, or they're only giving it a positive review to write some stupid troll meme in the review about how bad it is, but they still give it a positive review. That should tell you all you need to know, but you'll see plenty of evidence of what you would get if you bought the game here today. So I recorded again. I don't own the game anymore. I've already refunded it, but this is some video that I took earlier. So when I first recorded this last night, after last night's video, which is already up on my YouTube channel, guys, it's miss number 325, the zombies were doing nothing in that video. I found several big sections of zombies, and all they did was stand in place, and they had walking animations, but they weren't moving. So I was kind of surprised here when I logged in last night and the zombies were suddenly moving. Granted, they didn't look any better, and they obviously have a very simple AI. You know, this is the simplest AI you can imagine. The zombies just basically, if they're close enough to you, they just move towards your location, period. And he killed me. So I had to choose. There's only like 3 sections, 3 spots that you can resurrect at until I guess you find more. But just look at how the games load. So look at this. This is when I loaded in after respawning. The car is moving all by itself. Again, I just want to show you guys that again. Here we go, we're loading in. Yeah, look at this vehicle when I load in. It's just unreal, the bugs in this game. Not only that, I crashed trying to record another hour and a half of gameplay. I think I crashed like 5 or 6 times. Now look at that. But at least the zombies were moving last night when I recorded this. We see stuff up on the air. I'm gonna go be like, man, can I drive this vehicle? Yeah, watch what happens when I try to drive the vehicle here. Yeah, Shadow doesn't have a head. You're absolutely right noticing that. Yeah, their shadows are terrible. So I get in the vehicle you see here. Now watch this. This zombie comes right through the vehicle. I'm hitting the horn here. Look at this zombie. It's trying to attack me, but I guess they made it so you can't take damage if you're in a vehicle. So now I have actually 2 zombies in here trying to hit me. And these zombies are hideous looking as well. I mean, let's be real. They all look exactly the same. Some of them have different clothing on. But the driving mechanics are absolutely terrible as well. I couldn't see anything. I kept hitting like my C and V key, you know, C for camera, V for view, to try to change the view because I couldn't see anything, and nothing was working there. So I fell down in the water. I slid down in the water here, and this is where I went into the settings, trying to look at the controls, say, okay, is there any kind of view, like while you're driving? I couldn't find any kind of a button to change my view here, you know, while you're in a vehicle. As you can see, just nothing there. Just no excuse for this. And you'll see me drive vehicles a couple more times through some of this footage. And, yeah, I was still looking for, is there anything to show me a view? But no, I didn't find anything. So here I am, just, I'm like, alright, well, I'm in the water. I guess I might as well just make the best of it. Trying to drive. Driving underwater, because that makes sense, right? The camera's now, all I'm doing here, guys, is I'm trying to hold the mouse to where I can see. I was trying to get out of the vehicle at this point, but I don't think I could. It wasn't letting me exit. But here when I'm driving, all I'm doing is holding the W key to move forward. Like when I start driving here again, okay, so basically I'm starting over again at this point. Trying to search for vehicles, or try to drive a vehicle rather. And again, this map it's a huge map, but they just put in 90 billion the same assets in these locations like this. Like just way too many fucking zombies. And then there's sections of the map that are completely empty, like the one I was running through in my Mist video last night, where I didn't see anything for a long time, for many miles. So the player physics doesn't look when in the car. Yeah, so your head camera doesn't. Yeah, they have no player physics. They have nothing where you can actually see what the hell you're doing or where you're going. Yeah, it's really bad. Here. Yep, I opened the wrong door there. Again, the monster's in the vehicles. I'm trying to get in, but the zombie walks through the vehicle and hits me and kills me. And there again, we see what happened to me several times in the next hour and a half. The game just crashed. Which was a pretty common thing. Pretty ridiculous. Turn the volume down just a little bit. So here again, I'm loading back in. So what happened here is I logged in, I think I logged into a server. Let me see if I did log into a server. I think I went into an online server that was open. And there was no character. I hadn't created a character yet. So when I didn't create a character, the game, I wasn't controlling a character. Instead, I just logged into like a world editor. So why in the hell would they have somebody be able to just move a camera around a frozen world here? And this happens if you don't create a character. So if you log into any server without creating a character, then this is what you have. Like zombies by default just thrown up in the air. Like this just shows that they're just going around and just lazily placing zombie assets wherever. They don't care if they're in the air, they don't care, nothing. I mean, the best thing I can say about this game is the world that they've created looks pretty good. The mountains, the trees, and, you know, they've tried to create the mountain province of Canada or whatever. And that part is pretty good. And that's the only thing I can say where I've seen any effort at all is the world they built. But yeah, we just see in all these areas like this, they just have zombie assets everywhere. And you can see that all the assets, all the zombie assets are exactly the same. Exactly the same fucking asset. They don't have more than one. But they don't mind charging $40 for this, but there's only one zombie asset. As we clearly see. Out on a freeway, again the same kind of thing, just tons of zombies. So when you load into this world, this is what you're going to get. It's just a massive shit ton of zombies. Again, same kind of thing. I'm just moving the camera around here. Here I'm trying to log into a Jeep. Let's see what happens here. I don't remember what happens here. Yeah, what are these watermarks? Like, it's almost like I'm underwater. Look at all the watermarks. Oh, that's rain, I guess, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can see me driving and the zombie's just going right through the vehicle. But yeah, they don't have it where you can actually see where the hell you're going in when you're driving a vehicle. It's so hard to see, and there's no other way to look at it different, like a third-person view or get a camera behind the vehicle or anything like that. It just makes it so hard to see where the hell you're going. It's just so little thought put into this game. Again, we're getting water effects here like we're underwater. Just because it's raining, I guess. I was trying here to go fast enough to where I could get the vehicle to like fly off in the air or something like that, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get anything like that happen. And then here I'm underwater. Yeah, right here, this is what I was thinking about, where I'm just holding W is all I'm doing. I'm simply holding W, and I'm trying my best to hold the mouse where I can see in front of me. But the game just keeps wigging out and just take control and going nuts. But all I'm doing here, guys, the only key I'm pressing here this whole time is holding the W key. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. And then every once in a while, the game will actually let me hold the mouse where I can actually halfway see where I'm going. But obviously, you know, you need their camera up here, you know, a lot higher so you can actually see. But instead, they put the camera, like, right in the middle of the seat or something like that, like, right behind the steering wheel. Instead of putting the camera up here above the steering wheel, they put the camera, like, right here. It's just asinine. It makes no sense. Yeah, I guess you're stuck with Project Zomboid for another year? Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, sadly, this is not the 3D Project Zomboid they were, you know, hoping to deliver. So that's some highlights, guys. We're going to go ahead. I want to go ahead and show you some more information here from a YouTuber. This was a YouTuber named Kira who actually showed us some evidence that went on. I hope he doesn't mind me using parts of his video here, but I want to go ahead and show you. Now, this is a video he made 5 months ago, back in early April of 2023. So I want to go ahead and show you some of this, guys. This is pretty staggering.
About Dead Matter, zombie survival game raised $4.4 million from the public. From the start, it was Kickstarter, then it was Indiegogo, and since then they've
So there you go. So he's saying $4.4 million from Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and I trust the stats because he backs everything up with like evidence.
Very little. There's an alpha playable of the game, but essentially what they've been doing behind the scenes is not a whole lot, apart from wasting people's money, and not just your money, but Tencent's money, something that nobody knew in the community because it had not been publicly talked about. They didn't disclose at all that Tencent had invested in this project. And even when I released my video, when they tried to discredit me, which is what they did, instead of responding to my points and saying what was true, what wasn't true, or trying to like change the public narrative in any way other than Kira is sensationalist, not a journalist and a liar, which we will go over in a minute, they just didn't acknowledge this point. And of course, I'm about to prove to you that Tencent did invest in this company, that this company is about to run out of money, that they've been paying people who are completely incapable of doing their job large sums of money for many years, and that they've wasted millions of dollars for something that even internally everybody knew was not going to release because it was...
There you go. So he's basically saying they paid a bunch of money to a bunch of incompetent fucks, and when he has actually records of how much he has their financial reports from like 2022, 2021 that show how much everybody was earning. And it shows that everybody was earning anywhere from like 10,000 to 14,000 Canadian dollars per month. So by the math, I think that's like probably 700. What am I thinking of? Yeah, seven. What am I thinking? So 10,000 per month will be like 7,000 American. Just call it 10,000. So basically, $7,000 to $10,000 a month in American currency would be equivalent of something like that. So let's go ahead and show the evidence he has of. So there's Derek wrote up a report. One of their developers, or that this is a savior they brought in at the end of 2021 that was supposed to fix everything, get everything back on track, and everything like that. And he wrote up a document that Kira here obtained. And right about here, we have evidence that Tencent gave them $5 million.
Better improve the team's chances of launching a successful open-world survival zombie game title for PC. He later goes on to say the founder and CEO of the company has a strong technical background and is likely to also serve as the CTO for the company, the Chief Technical Officer. This did not age well, of course. So basically, the money that they raised from the public, the $4.4 million, got them to the stage of May 2021. And then in May 2021, they got $5 million. And they were planning, based on this document, to release the game into early access on Steam in late 2022. Of course, that didn't happen, and that was something that was promised publicly that, of course, they completely missed because the company is in a complete shambles. Now, this is going through all the things that he did when he first joined the studio, including interviewed every single member of the team. Now, we're about to get to some real problems of the studio, which I can't really put into words without using his words, just to show you how bad things were at Quantum Integrity Studio, a company that was, to this point, when Derek joined, completely managed by Nick Zorko, the CEO, the person who, again, asked me for comment and then banned me when I gave him the opportunity.
Yeah, he has evidence of he has evidence of like the CEO banning him from Discord for simply wanting, like he was willing to basically interview him and everything like that. But this guy was basically saying that he was a liar, saying that he was coming with false information or whatever. And so when this guy basically said, hey, let's have a one-on-one chat, show me where I'm wrong, tell me what I'm lying about, tell me what, where I'm getting this information or whatever. And the guy just simply banned him without offering any kind of, any kind of evidence or any kind of proof that he was coming up with lies or whatever. But yeah, and if we come here, guys, 1635. So now we know that Tencent gave them an additional $5 million. This is basically showing some of the finances here.
Specifically, and then goes over the burn rate. The burn rate being $145,000 for rent, utilities, payroll, contract.
So $145,000. This is in Canadian dollars, however. But they was basically talking about here. This is in late 2021 when they were going over their budget, how much money they had left out of the $5 million plus the $4.5 million that they got from crowdfunding. They only had basically $2.5 million left at this point from the total amount, the total $9.5 million that they had raised, and they're going and showing that they have a burn rate of $145,000 per month because they were paying for an office up in Canada that everybody was supposed to be working at. However, nobody was going into the office. Everybody was working remotely. So they were just wasting their money on an office that was costing, I don't know, I think it was $10,000 or $12,000 a month. And then they were paying all these remote developers who were doing nothing, essentially, 10 to 14,000 Canadian dollars per month. Yeah, this video, which I'll link here in a second, is definitely very interesting. I highly recommend you going and watching this video.
At the end of 2021, our runway is 13 months until we redline. What does redline mean in this context? Well, they run out of money. They can't pay anyone's wages. They can't pay for any of the software they're using. They can't do anything. It's game over unless somebody invests. And he said 13 months. And this is at the end of 2021, which would have put it at early 2023. What has changed here? Well, basically, they cut down their current burn rate from $145,000 down to $109,000, which has given them a little bit more runway. But of course, they offer a refund policy. And if everyone were to refund right now, which they can't because they've capped the refunds, they'd run out of money within a couple months. But obviously, nobody knows, apart from now that I'm publishing this, that internally they're only allowing $1,500 of refunds per month, which is not a lot when you consider when I bought the game, for instance, it was $55 for my package. So our current budget is allocating $0 for marketing spend. We will absolutely need support from our publisher in this domain. And then the CEO, Nick, corrects him here. Tencent is purely an investor, though I believe we could potentially look at onboarding a publisher to defer some of this cost.
So here, even on this document, even the CEO, Nicholas Zorko, he is acknowledging that Tencent is purely an investor in the project. So there's all the proof you need. I mean, he basically says he doesn't argue with anything about the $5 million from Tencent. He's just saying, hey, he's an investor. So, I mean, it's definitely proof that Tencent invested another $5 million. So basically what this is showing is that these developers for Quantum, whatever it is, these developers for this fucking game blew $9.5 million, paying people in excess of like $7,000 a month, every month for years to do basically nothing. And we can see that there's not a whole lot of work put into the game by simply playing it today. And it's also proof that the reason they launched it in early access yesterday on Steam is simply because they ran out of fucking money. They were out of money, and I'll go in and show you proof of that as well. Last night while I was working, because I work from home, I went into the Discord for this game, for Dead Matter, and all I saw was a whole bunch of fighting with a couple of the developers, including this Nicholas, this Nick guy. All it was a whole bunch of fighting, mostly him with angry people that felt burned and robbed from the game. And it's understandable that if you invested $75, $100, $150 on this game, you waited 6 fucking years for this game to come out, and then the game launches last night in the state it was in, it's very understandable you would be pissed. You're like, hey, motherfucker, I gave you $80, I gave you $100 6 years ago. And, you know, they kept delaying the game and making promises and promising everything in the world. And it's understandable that people would be pissed off, right, after they launched the game last night. And what I saw in the Discord last night for hours was nothing but these developers and Nicholas, supposedly the CEO, fucking arguing, and defending himself by saying things like, hey, it's early access, shit like that. It's so unreal. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a link to this video on the YouTube channel. I'll also provide the link to Kira's video here from back in April. He hasn't made a recent video as of yet after the game launch, but there is his, it's like a 30-minute video, and it goes over, it's so interesting to watch. Like, I watched the whole video last night while I was working. I definitely recommend that. So before we get into some more footage here, guys, I want to go ahead and show you just a couple of screenshots I grabbed from the Discord last night. So when we look here, we see, so Johnny Guitar, I believe this is Nick. Okay, I could be wrong, but I believe this is Nick right here. So basically somebody says, can we please have an answer on why you chose to release the game in early access? We know it's a developer regardless, because the developers are all in red over here on their Discord. You can see them in the Dead Matter Discord. So somebody asked the question last night, can we please have an answer on why you chose to release the game now in early access? Johnny Guitar here says right here, because we were tired of being in closed alpha and had no revenue for 3 years, despite whatever lies Kira TV put in his video. So there you go. He's basically saying they launched the game because they were out of money in their own Discord, right? Now, if you watch the Kira video that I showed, that I linked you guys to, Kira basically shows how they were not allowed to sell any more keys on Steam for some time. So they couldn't sell keys anymore for at least the last year and a half, 2 years. Steam was not allowing them to sell any more keys because, like pre-order keys, because there was no evidence of, because the alpha was probably in such a bad state or whatever. But anyway, Steam stopped allowing them to sell keys. They were not giving them any more keys to sell. So they couldn't sell any more keys on Steam, and all that money that we talked about, the $9.5 million they got from crowdfunding and from Tencent, they blew out of. They were out of. And so that's why they went ahead and launched it on Steam last night. And one of the developers, I believe this is Nick right here, confirmed that. Pretty crazy. Another screenshot I grabbed here as well. So somebody says, so you released a barely playable game to cash in. And Johnny Guitar, the developer, says, oh, when an FPS is good, I have a pretty fun time in the game. And he's like, I don't know what else you want me to say. And somebody else asked him, so you needed revenue, so you chose to put the game out in the state that it was in because of that. And he says, no, we feel the game is ready, and we stand by that. We simply look at things a lot differently here, yeah. The vehicles are scuffed, but with the type of map we're delivering, it actually makes sense to have shitty, buggy vehicles more than it does to have people walk everywhere. So he's just making excuses for launching a game that is barely playable and so fucking buggy, it's ridiculous. And this went on for just hours. Like, you could go to their Discord, I'm sure, and just, I didn't say anything. I'm sure I'll get banned from their Discord once they see that I'm, capturing screenshots of their Discord chat. But I just went into their general chat and just observed. I didn't type anything because I didn't want to risk getting banned or anything. But I was just observing there for hours and watching, mainly Johnny Guitar here, argue with people that were frustrated and, upset. Felt like they'd been scammed. And it's understandable that they thought they'd been scammed. Pretty much a crazy nightmare here. I mean, pretty nightmare game. So here I am logging into the game again. We see some servers are up today. So I'm logging into the closest one to me, which was California. Again, selecting just some bullshit perks because I know it's not going to matter. Here's your starting point. This is where I log in. Just so many zombies everywhere, you can barely even walk. I mean, what else are you supposed to do here? You have no gun, you have no weapon, nothing like that. And there's just so many zombies here. I'm trying to walk through the cars to get the cars, and I can't jump up on the car. Even though I gave myself the ability to jump 20% higher or something. Look at all these fucking zombies. And they wonder why the game runs, so shitty and such a low FPS. Now watch this. I'm just trying to get in the car, and I'm fucking knocking the vehicle around. And then I get stuck. I'm like stuck inside this fucking vehicle asset, I guess. Yeah, I'm stuck. Can't get out. Look at this shit. I can't move. Finally, I unglitched myself. You see the vehicle, the zombies touching the vehicle and moving it around. So finally, I just decided to take off. Can't interact with hardly anything. Can't interact with a dead body. It says F to interact with it, but you can't interact with it. It does nothing. And then again, I'm running along the roadside here, and I see another, just a super massive horde of zombies, and we see some more just crazy bugs here. Again, my FPS starts tanking because of so many fucking zombies clustered together in one small area. You know, we see zombies popping up in the air. Like, the game is just an utter fucking mess. But I guess, hey, it's an improvement over what I saw last night, where the zombies weren't even fucking moving. They were just standing in place. Yeah. Let's see if there's some better footage where it's light and not so dark. I think I got some. Again, dead body where it says you can interact with it, but nothing happens when you interact with it. The zombies here just basically all grouped together. It looks like having a fucking orgy party. They're not even interested in me. Look at these zombies. They're just all bumping into each other. Have no interest in me at all. No growl sounds or anything. Oh, there we go. There we go, a little growling. But yeah, they're just not interested in me at all. And then somewhere here, I think I got this vehicle. Yeah, watch what happens here. It's so fucking dark. That's another thing, guys. I kept logging in and out of the server because I'm on a server now, and I think I read something about how they had a 2-hour night cycle and a 4-hour day cycle or something like that. But I kept logging out because I wanted to be able to capture this game during the daylight, where I could record footage where you could see something. But I kept logging into this California server for like 3.5 hours, and every time I logged into it, like I was logging into it like every 20 or 30 minutes. And every time I logged into the game, it was fucking dark for like 3.5 hours straight. So I don't know if it's just always dark on some of their servers or what, but that's just another, it just shows how buggy and unready the game is for launch. But again, this is what I'm talking about. You can't see anything. You know, I'm trying to see the road ahead, but and then again, we get a crash. So I go ahead and restart. I log back into the same server, and we see here that I'm not in the vehicle wherever the vehicle was, but instead I'm right here by the vehicle, and I haven't drove yet. And again, just these zombies all cobbled together, looking like they're having an orgy, and not doing anything. Trying to find loot. I decided to go ahead and get back in the vehicle. Same thing. I just drive as far as I can here. Yeah, the game's just a total mess, as you can see. There's just no variety of zombies. The zombies have horrible AI. They look horrible. The faces are god-awful. The mechanics for driving are terribly flawed, as you can see. The loot system, if you're able to search anything, then it takes several seconds to load up what it is, even if you're playing single player. And I have this game installed on like SSD drive, so there's no excuse for the game to be taking 8-10 seconds to load up whatever you're searching. So I got out of the vehicle. Notice how I got out of the vehicle there, guys. So you saw me drive, and I hit this stop on the road, and I exit the vehicle here. As soon as I exit the vehicle, look where I spawn. Not outside the vehicle, but right back here again, with all these fucking orgy zombies. It's just terribly buggy. Unreal. Unfucking real. I don't know if anything else really happened here. Oh, this is where I haven't created a character, and I logged in without a character, and I was able to I went up in the sky to kind of take a look at the world. This is pretty interesting, I think. So I just kept going higher and higher to take a look at the world below that they created. And again, that's by far the most impressive thing that I think they made with this game, is they just made what looks to be a pretty big and pretty good looking map of Canada here. You can see the towns and the clouds and everything that they have. The clouds hanging on the mountains. That all looks pretty good. the map they've created is pretty good, but everything else just needs to, yeah, it needs to go back in the oven for sure. And if they've taken 7 or 8 years of development to get to this point, there is no way they're going to be able to fix this game in any kind of a... So right here, yeah, so right here I showed that the zombies can hit you through a fucking wall. I'm trying to show my health, yeah. You see they're hitting me through the wall and damaging me. And of course they end up killing me. And then really nothing else here except me just walking around, looking at another starting area, and looking at just how terrible this fucking game is, and how they think they make their game challenging or good. This is such a novice developer thing to do. Is like, okay, we're gonna make the game challenging by loading an area with, you know, instead of a handful of zombies, we're just gonna load in 10,000 fucking zombies in one little area. And that's how we're going to make our game challenging, because we know the AI is fucked. We know there's no challenge in beating these guys. We know they're buggy as fuck and they can walk right through vehicles and stuff like that. So let's just create our challenge by having, you know, by spawning in thousands of zombies in one small area. And again, just showing this whole thing where zombies will go inside of a vehicle and they can't hurt you, but they continue to smack you while you're inside of a vehicle. But at least it's daytime here. I was able to get some daytime footage of the world. And they're amazing driving mechanics here. Yeah, I just can't believe they don't even have a camera view where you can see from behind the vehicle while you're driving. There's no excuse for that either. But this is why I'm saying, guys, you know, if you're an indie developer or whatever, you've got to do more than just rely on assets and the Unreal Engine to do everything for you. The Unreal Engine is a very powerful engine. It can do a lot. But you've got to do more than just drop in tons of fucking assets all over the world and expect the Unreal Engine to magically make your game fun and engaging. Because this is anything but fun. This is a fucking nightmare. Like I said, I remember I have videos of H1Z1 Survival in 2015 when it launched. And that game was over, you know, super hyped as well. And that game at launch was super buggy, really buggy as well. But it was at least 20 times better than what we have here with Dead Matter. Like, this is one of the worst game launches I've ever seen. And I've seen some really bad game launches in my days. But, yeah. No excuse for what we have here with Dead Matter. It's an embarrassing. I don't know how they're not embarrassed. I don't know how they're on Discord arguing with people that are upset. They obviously have no empathy for the people that have supported them. They have no empathy at all for the very people that supported them years ago with millions of dollars, and they're upset with what they launched yesterday, understandably. And the developers, instead of empathizing with them or showing some kind of support or promising to make the game better or whatever, they just argue with them. That's all they're doing on their Discord, is just arguing with the very people that supported them. I mean, there's nothing that I'm seeing from these developers that shows me any kind of hope, any kind of promise, or anything. And then when you look at Kira's video that I have linked down below, when you watch that 30-minute video, you'll see what a fucking nightmare this whole company is. You know, it's just the people that are responsible for making this game, including Nick, are as embarrassing as the state of this game right now. It's just their behavior, their attitude towards the very people that supported them make their game. I just don't know how they can have any pride in their behavior or in this particular game. As you see me running around the world here, while they've created a pretty interesting map, just the game mechanics and the physics and all the bugs and everything like that just make this game obviously not worth playing. This game's not even worth the asking price of, I wouldn't pay $5 for this game, much less 40. Like, it's just not worth it. It's not even worth 140 gigabytes of install space it takes to install this game. And even their little campsite here, while it looks interesting from far away, when you get up close, it actually looks pretty fucking hideous. Nothing's interactable. These tents, look at that. Look how ugly that fucking looks. The pixelization, terrible. And then again, when you see me trying to search the vehicle, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But then it takes several seconds for the items to actually load in. But this is Dead Matter, guys. There's some more footage for you. To see exactly how bad it is. So up here I thought, okay, well maybe I'll find a gun or something up here in this, you know. So look at this. Like, this is just another asset that's, again, non-interactable. I can't climb up this ladder. Trying to jump up it, can't even get up it. You know, I was hoping there might be a gun or something up in there, but nope, you can't even interact with this. Just like so much of the things, so much of the TPs and houses and everything in this game that are just, there's no interacting with doors or anything. And again, just mindless zombies that simply move to your XY position and nothing more, looking up into the sky. Look how bad they look, and they all look exactly the same. Just an embarrassment of a game. This is easily going to be one of the worst game launches ever, and this is going to be the laughing stock of games for a long time. Many years to come, people will be comparing, you know, future disaster game launches to, oh, was this as bad as Dead Matter launch in 2023? And at this point, I mean, how are they going to make this game better, guys? They launched the game on Steam. They launched the fucking game on Steam because they ran out of money. That's obvious from looking at the evidence. The only reason they launched this game in the state it is, and even the guy we looked at in my Discord, the pitcher, he launched the game, he admitted by his own admission, they launched the game because they had no money. They launched the game because they ran out of money. So, without being able to pay the developers who put this out any more money, they're obviously not going to work on the game anymore without getting paid, so they're going to move on. Good luck to them finding a job. But without anybody working on the game with no money, how are they going to turn this game around? And it's taken them 7 or 8 years to get to where it's at now. There's just, I don't see anything good in the future. There's no hope. They're out of money. They have a completely broken game in almost every facet and every area. And it has to be frustrating to the developers to launch this game in this state and to see every angry customer, to see all these videos exposing this game for what it is. And they know they're fucking broke now. They went through millions of dollars. Whatever that number is, they went through millions of dollars. And now they're broke. And that's why they launched it on Steam. And I don't see where there's, where there's a direction they can go from here to change this game. So to anybody that believes this game is at some point going to be playable or a good game, you're completely delusional. How do you expect these developers with no money to turn this game around? They're not going to be making any money because they launched it on Steam, because I guarantee you the refund rate on Steam is probably over 90%. So, yeah, they're not going to be... And if they were paying their developers, 10 to 14,000 Canadian dollars every month to put what we have out here, and they say, hey, okay, well, will you continue to work on the game for the $300 a month that we're making from Steam and divide that all up or whatever? Hell no, they're not. The people that have been making $10,000 a month aren't going to accept making $100 a month. They're not going to be able to do it. So I don't see where they go from here that shows any kind of hope or gives me kind of optimism for what we see here. It's just another game that's been overhyped by the developers, overpromised, and obviously way underdelivered. Much like so many Kickstarter games that we've seen over the years. Overhyped, overpromised, and underdelivered. And it's a fucking nightmare. So with that, guys, I do want to go ahead and thank you guys for, obviously coming in and watching this, but I do want to go ahead and show you guys, if you guys are looking at this game, you guys were hopeful for this game, if you can get your refund from Steam, maybe you bought this game and you bought it on Steam or whatever, I want to go ahead and show you a video I did here about 9 months ago of a zombie game that I think is well worth your money, and a developer that could definitely use your support, and it's a hell of a lot better than if you're looking at shooting zombies. This game's a hell of a lot better than what you have with that game, with Dead Matter. So let me just go and find it here. I think it was around last October. Don't Get Eaten is it, and I played it on the launch day, much like I played Dead Matter. This game only has a couple of reviews. One of them was mine. And this developer is a solo developer, but what he's done is he's made a game where you test your survival skills in this third-person combat shooter, battle against the zombie horde. How long can you survive? You see that I gave it a positive review last October. The game comes in at only $3.99. And, if this game was to start getting people purchase it, then maybe the developer would actually, add in some more updates and add in some more content or whatever. But let's see if I think I still have it installed. Let's show you guys a little bit of this game and show you why I like this game. Another game that's made in the Unreal Engine. If you guys are looking for a zombie shooter, $4, $4 US to get this game. So we see that it has good settings. You can choose your settings. You can, do all that, gameplay, audio, everything. We go into a new game. And this is a hell of a fun game. I played this game for a while last year. Zombies attack in waves. Don't get eaten. So 1, 2, 3 to swap your weapons. Left click to shoot. R to reload. Shift to sprint. F is flashlight. So you can build items. So you can build like traps and fences. You can deconstruct objects by holding V. You buy ammo and weapons from the laptop, and you do upgrades at the workbench. So we're going to go ahead and say okay. All right. So here we are. So these zombies come in here through these portals. So we see a zombie coming in through this portal here. And I mean, the graphics are a little bit shoddy and stuff like that, but remember guys, you guys are buying this game for $4. So this is 1/10 the price of Dead Matter, right? See their health bar? Reload. Turn a flashlight on. So this is almost like a wave shooter where you've got to kill the zombies. Headshots are obviously going to do you a lot more, and you get some goodies from the zombies when they die. I mean, obviously this game is, just using a whole bunch of assets, just like so many of these games. But I'm getting some money here by shooting these zombies. But the developer here has used these assets well. This is his first game on Steam. And I look forward to seeing what else he creates, because I think this game's pretty damn fun. It's definitely a hell of a lot better than what we have with Dead Matter, 100%. And the reason I think this game is so much better than Dead Matter is because this developer didn't try to overachieve. He didn't try to, make the biggest zombie online apocalypse game ever made, right? He simply created a small map. He allowed you to do fun things like earn money and build turrets and build fences. But if you guys do go out and buy this game for $4 and you guys like it as well, please do. It's not me a favor. I don't know this developer. But do the developer a favor and please review the game. So now we can see better because it's getting light now. All right. So you can sleep if you need to. That's new because that wasn't in the game last time I played this. So then you come in here, guys, and if you want to craft something or whatever, you hit E to use this. You have no weapons that can be upgraded. Okay, so you know that you're going to be able to buy some weapons that can be upgraded. So we see here that we have $160 and we can purchase like more ammo, 60 bullets. We can purchase that. This is for the rifle though. And I think you have unlimited ammo with your starting pistol. So if you want to wait, you know, if you want to wait till the next night to fight zombies again, you can just go to sleep. You see your stamina bar at the bottom. You see that I have full health right now. So let's go ahead and sleep away till night 2 here. You slept until nighttime, okay? Doesn't show you crawling in the bed. Doesn't need to. So here we are. You just earn money, and you get, the cool thing is you get to buy better guns. You get to upgrade those guns with your money. Obviously, every wave gets more and more difficult as you progress. And then you can start buying things like fences and traps and stuff like that for the zombies. You can start building, I believe, turrets and yeah, all kinds of cool stuff. And then some of these zombies, notice how this game at $4, notice how Dead Matter used the same zombie asset everywhere, just millions of times throughout the world. Look at this game, for $4 we get, there's a lot of different interesting zombies. So I think it's like night 3 or 4 or whatever, you start having like puke zombies that like puke on you, and puke acid and shit on you. And we have these big motherfuckers that have a lot more health that... Yeah, this game can get pretty interesting and get you on the edge of your seat because it's pretty intense. Just trying to survive and last as long as you can. But honestly, to the Dead Matter devs, fuck you, you guys would be better off finding the developer who made this game and having this developer work for you, because he's also working in the Unreal Engine, and it looks like he's done a hell of a lot more with this game than anything any of your devs have done with Dead Matter over the last 6 years. I'm just saying. This dev is probably way better at making fun game mechanics than the developers you have working on Dead Matter. And you guys are paying them thousands of dollars per month to produce what we have today on Steam with Dead Matter. At least this guy can make some fucking fun game mechanics, and this guy's not trying to, you know, get too ambitious and create something that's impossible for him to create. He knows his limits. He's made a fun little fucking indie game here, and he's also, I gotta say, he's not also overcharging for the game like you motherfuckers are trying to do. He's not asking $40 for a game that's not worth $40. And his game works. There's nothing broken about this game. Everything in this game works fine. So that's a hell of a lot more than you can say for Dead Matter. And again, this guy's not trying to, you know, promise the fucking world in a game. He knows what his limitations are, and he's made a fun little game that's a hell of a lot of fun and has a super high replay value. And he's also only asking $4 for it. So, if you guys are looking for an alternative, you know, to Dead Matter, you guys are looking to shoot some fucking zombies, I highly recommend this game. But like I said, if you do go and buy this game and you like it, please leave him a review, because he could definitely use the reviews. And it looks like this developer definitely hasn't given up, because he's, you know, he hasn't obviously got many sales or very much money, but he has another game coming out, and I look forward to playing it, because he's created a fun little first zombie shooter. That was a Sabotage, just an old school RPG set in the Lord of Thedurian. Battle challenging enemies and delve into the dungeons in search of loot. That actually sounds fun as well. So you don't have to have amazing graphics like the world in Dead Matter to have a fun game. You know, your game can definitely have assets, and you can make a fun little game out of it. And this developer definitely, it looks like, knows how to do that. So I look forward to seeing his second game, Tales of Sabotage, whenever it comes out as well. But yeah, don't get eaten, guys, is my recommendation for anybody that wants to kill zombies over Dead Matter. And I'll put this link down in the description on my YouTube video, and I'll put it here in chat on my Twitch stream. I want to go and thank you guys for being here. I got to log into work, so thanks so much for being here, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Peace, everybody.